It is May, I believe, the 27th, 2026. I'm feeling really big today. Just huge. And looking like my sister Debbie. To me. Anyway. I found out yesterday that if you got people blocked from your phone, that they can still leave a message and you can hear the blocked messages. So I found out early in the day yesterday about that, but then didn't remember to look or listen to any of the voicemails until late last night. And the bulk of the voicemails came from my mother and both my sisters. But mostly the one who passed away. And I had them, well, I just recently blocked my mother, but I guess because I blocked her, all of her voice messages that I've never heard went into the blocked messages. But she's recently been leaving messages too. I don't know, I guess I was a little bit taken back by the voicemails that I heard from Debbie because she's gone now. And it's like weird to hear her voice. And what, you know, I think I know what I blocked her for. She called herself one day calling me to check me about my son and the relationship that he has with my mother. And I don't know, I guess she felt like somehow I was responsible for that relationship. And I listened to what she had to say, and then when she got off the phone, I blocked her. I didn't argue with her. I didn't go back and forth, you know. And I think that's what people like, I don't know, they get misconstrued by the fact that I don't have anything to say when they, you know, come to me or treat me in that way. You know, I just like, okay, and I'm done with you. Literally. Done. Done. Because I never unblocked her before she passed away. And she was the good sister. She was the good twin. You know, there's always a evil and a good twin. And she was the good twin, but somehow as she got older, she became just as evil as Vicky. You know. So I stirred away from her because of that. Because of her evilness that she, you know, I want to say she picked it up from Vicky, but you can't really pick up evilness from somebody. It's just either in you or it's not. And the way that they used to just like talk to me was, you know, kind of crazy. But Debbie used to always have like a very kind spirit about her, and, you know, very sweet. Vicky never had that. I heard a couple of her voicemails that she left, and she was just like, her name ain't even programmed in the phone, and, you know, I didn't know who to expect with the weird phone number that was in there. But she was trying to come off like we was cool or whatever, and, you know, call me and all that, but we haven't had that relationship as adults. Because she has tried to hurt me on numerous occasions, you know, purposely. For what, I don't know, but, and I don't even bring it up, I don't try to discuss it with you, or just like, you don't know what you've been doing and how you've been doing it, and, ain't much I can do about what you don't know. But I thought that was really, I don't know, kind of cool, crazy that those voice messages was there. And there was a new one that my mother left on Sunday. Halfway apologizing for how she treat me. She ain't really taking no real accountability to how she treat me, but she's not liking that she can't just call me when she want to. Because when she went to Texas, she didn't call me for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months. I wasn't tripping off of it because I felt like, damn, I like the break or whatever have you. But when she did finally call, that's what she said, that she needed a break from me. I'm like, oh, okay. How you need a break from somebody who can't call you? There's never been a time that I could call my mother and she answer the phone. Now, I'm not going to say that she purposely does that. She just not really good with cell phones. And now, if you had a house phone and that rang, she going to answer that. But calling her on a cell phone and paying attention to it and answering it, that's never been her forte. So I can't call her. I don't know. Derek used to be able to call her on the cell phone and she would answer. But that was the iPhone that I had bought her. And then, out of her evilness, she decided that she was gonna get a new phone when she moved to Texas and mail me my phone back. Like, she don't want nothing from me. That's the gist I get, because when I moved out of her house, that's what she did. Got rid of all because I was paying for the cable bill where she had all the channels, but it was through this guy, and I was paying like $80 every 3 months or something like that for the service. And when I moved, she unplugged all of them out of all the TVs, and knowing that I don't even watch TV, but I had bought all the little Amazon, what you call them, little things that you use to, have the TV. I had bought 3 of them for the house because she needed one in her room, one in the kitchen, and then she had a little spare room that she would hang out in and do her puzzles. So the other one was in that room. I didn't even have one because I didn't care for TV. That's when I was really moving away from TV. Like, I had already started moving away from TV before then, but having the cable was like nothing for me. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to be bombarded with the marketing that's on TV. That was the reason why. But she wanted to get rid of everything that I had given her. I had bought her a little the Google thing where you say Alexa and ask her anything. She packed that up too. She's like, take all your shit and leave. I'm like, okay. I was already gonna leave. You know what I mean? But I hadn't planned on taking any of that stuff because I bought it for her. Either way, she left a message on Sunday that I heard last night where she was halfway apologizing. Really not. She really don't mean what she say. What she want is access to me. She want to be able to hear my voice and talk to me, and but when you had that access, you treated me like shit. Because I almost felt kind of bad, but then it's like, why do you feel bad about protecting yourself from these people who really don't care about nothing but what they want? So if I could call her, I would. Mr. Hayes passed away, and That was, basically the last thing he was saying to me. Call your mama, call your mama, call your mama. I don't know how come he was so gung-ho about me calling my mama, and how he knew. I must have told him. I had to tell him, but I can't remember telling him. What was I even talking about it for with him? But I tried to call her that day just to, get him off of my back. And she didn't answer her phone. She don't know how to answer. Dirk not teaching her how to answer her phone, or how, turn the ringer on, or, whatever it is. Because, see, once she started messing around with the phone, she just, inadvertently turns things and moves things and makes the phone, harder to use because she don't know what she doing. And he not taking no time out of his day to go in and, I would go to the phone and find messages and text messages and people that reached out to her and let her know who they were and how to open it up and how to call them back, and he's not doing none of that. And I specifically would make sure that if he called, or anybody like him, like my sons or her son, because she loved men, so but that would be, that would be too much like right for her, because he doesn't like women very much, for him to be showing her and reminding her of who's calling. Because he could pick up her phone any day and say, oh, Donna called you today. He ain't doing that. They probably just together enjoying talking about me and my lost soul and how I'm going to hell. And, I was telling that girl yesterday when I was talking to her about, well, really I was just listening. I found myself answering calls that I didn't want to answer this weekend out of loneliness. But people kill me. I can't pick up my phone and call nobody, but people feel like they can pick up their phone and call me. And I feel like it. They know they can, because they do it. I did something very impromptu and for the very first time, and I've been single and on my own literally since 2009. I've never cooked myself a holiday meal just for me, and I did yesterday. I barbecued, which is a huge feat, because that meant I had to go buy charcoal and lighter fluid and deal with that. I got bit by a wasp fucking with that barbecue pit, because that wasp wanted to be in the barbecue pit, and I was trying to shoo it away, and when I shooed it, it bit me so fast that and my fingers swell up. And then something bit me over here. I believe it probably was him. I don't know how he got me over there too, but I barbecued. I made some sweet potatoes. I made some deviled eggs. I made some cabbage. All in just like enough for one person. I didn't sit down and have a meal, which would have really been the icing on the cake, is to fix a plate and then just sit down and have that meal by myself. I just was kind of eating what I made all day. The cabbage was amazing. I found this bacon at Snooks when I was shopping for what I needed to do this, and it was on reduced. Much my ass love a deal, so I bought it because it was reduced. But it was the thick bacon. I went up there to get some turkey butts, and I couldn't find none, so I wanted to put it in my cabbage. So I was gonna put the bacon in there, but I never did put that bacon in there, because every time I fried a couple of pieces of it in my air fryer, I ended up eating it. They put some type of maple syrup or something on the bacon, and they had like a cracked pepper on it. That bacon was delicious. I mean, delicious. Oh my God, all I see is Debbie. I'm looking in this thing and that's all I see is Debbie. Well, you think you got time and you know, she had apologized on several of the voice messages that she left, because she left a lot of voice messages. And I wish I had heard them, and maybe I probably would have forgave her. I don't know. Either way.